Hi, and welcome to the Markeisha Hall podcast. I'm your host, Markeisha Hall, parent empowerment partner, IEP coach, and certified autism travel professional. And today I have a very special guest here with us. Someone I've known for my whole life, my dad, Naulls Sr. Woo!
Hey.
He's shy, guys. So
I'm very shy.
Until you get him to start talking.
Exactly. So let's get me to start talking.
So we're just going to, well, I guess I already introduced you. Do you want to say anything else about yourself?
No, I could be talking all day long.
Okay. This is true.
At 64 years old, I got a lot of life and I got a lot of stories and all that kind of good stuff. But we're going to be talking about Josiah.
About Josiah and grandparents. And something that I see in a lot of the support groups that I talk to and that I'm in, and a lot of the clients that I'm with, is that they have issues with their family members. I can't believe this because I'm very blessed. I haven't experienced this, being insensitive in the words that they choose to use, and even how they treat the child that has a disability. In Joe's case, it's autism, but it could be Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, any kind of disability that they may have. And so I wanted to make this podcast, I should say, so maybe they can give it to that person that's not acting that nice and see how you are with your grandkids. I mean, there's not really a difference because you're a great grandpa anyway with all the kids, but you and Joe have a particular bond also.
Well, yeah, I think the first thing that happens with me, I've been very fortunate and blessed to follow you throughout your career, not only with teaching in regular school, but teaching on the level of the kids with disabilities at Purdue. I think it was at Purdue Elementary.
Yeah.
Where I came to your class a lot. I was, again, fortunate again to have been retired and spent a lot of time with you watching your commitment to helping children with disabilities. So I think for me, that helps out a lot. So for all the grandparents, of course, you love your children, you love your daughter or son or daughter, but that first love has to certainly be with your child, your son or daughter.
Right.
And then I watched you. I watched the number of teachers per kid. So I got a really good understanding of the need for the kid with disabilities early on when you first started with teaching. Teach kids with disabilities. Yeah. So, I have a uniqueness because of my availability.
Right.
But then we got Joe, and Joe and I kind of clicked early on.
Yes.
Because we're both light-skinned or what?
Yeah, you guys are the light-skinned brothers.
Yeah, so we kind of connected, and I was a little bit reserved at first, to be honest with you, because I just didn't really know Joe that well.
Right.
But over a period of time, Joe and I really started connecting, and he started, when I come over or whatever, he started running to me, and then of course we got the name and so on and so forth, Grandpa and Joe, and just really a bond that's very, very, very unique. So go ahead and ask me some more questions because I'll get the rattling here. Yeah.
No, that was good. I think that for some people that are listening right now, they may not have heard the other podcast. So we adopted Josiah in 2018. And during the adoption process, he was diagnosed with autism, and he wasn't even using words. Remember, Dad? He didn't even talk till he was 4. So it was different for our family, and we had to definitely find ways to communicate with him. And my dad used snacks.
So what she's talking about is, what happened with me, I'm of course I'm a senior, and I have to have patience in life, period, to have gone through my 64 years. And I found out that that between Joe and I, he liked snacks. And so what I
Yes.
started doing, I started packing snacks. And what
Yep.
I think what we were trying to do is just build a rapport. And of course, you don't never know what's going to make the child click.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that he really likes today or tomorrow or whatever? But you have to be paying attention. And I
Mm-hmm.
paid attention to these snacks. And lo
Yes.
and behold, that became our little deal, me and him, that I made sure that I had snacks in my car, snacks in my trunk, snacks in my overnight
Pocket.
bag. I had to
Pocket.
have snacks because
Yes.
he responded to snacks. And one thing
Yes.
about Joe, he's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that about Joe. Joe he likes to dress. He likes to have his color coordination on time. He likes to be picked up on time. He likes to go to
Yes.
bed on time. He does. This dude is something else. But I had my eyes open,
Yes.
and
Yep.
I was in a receptive mode. What is it that I can do for Joe as a grandpa? So when we're together, he responds to me, and we get along well.
Right.
So
Oh,
it's been phenomenal.
it's getting me choked up. He does. You guys do have a good bond, and what I heard you say, that I'm hoping that other people are able to, give to their friends or family that's um, not taking the time, or maybe they just don't know. Let's not say that they're being mean. Let's just say that they don't know. Is just not to be afraid. Is to observe what the child likes, and in this case, it was snacks. He's highly motivated by snacks, and that bonded you guys. I mean, you guys do all kinds of things now, but when he was getting to know our family from coming in from foster care, it was just finding things that he liked. Instead of you saying, like, oh, he's 3 or 4, he should like these things, as a typical 4-year-old, you looked and said, these are the things that he likes, and you engaged in those types of things. And another good thing that you always did too is we FaceTime. And even though he wasn't using words that you could always understand, you still would be like, yeah, mm-hmm, yeah, Joe. You still um, respected his use of communication, and he was talking your ear off about, remember when we couldn't understand what he was saying to us? Well, you couldn't. I could kind of, and I would kind of be like, oh, this is what he said. But he felt like he was talking to he was talking to his grandpa, and you still respected that instead of saying, like, what? And making him feel like he's not being heard. And that's important
Well,
too.
I think I can. I think with regard to that, growth happens over time, and as a senior, we know that things don't happen overnight. So what we have to do is engage and do what we know to do, and that's to be patient. And so, if I'm bobbing my head, I call it bobblehead. If I'm just saying,
Mhm.
if I'm bobbleheading, and Joe is looking at me, and and granted, we have eye-to-eye contact, so he's really paying
Mhm.
attention, and I'm paying attention. So you really have to be engaged in whatever it is that he's trying to attempting to do, and vice versa. So we've
Yep.
established that. We established that a while back ago,
Mhm.
whereby we just look at each other, and I say yes, and I'm patient. And I'll give you another example. Joe can't play really ping pong really well, but he sure thinks he can. I
Right.
play I play ping pong with my grandsons, and I have one to think he's the world's champion.
Right.
But I play ping pong and I love it. But I also, after working out with my oldest grandson, and Joe see us play, he always wants to play with me, and
Right.
I spend the time and play with him.
Yep.
Now, granted, he's only, I don't know, how old is Joe? I mean, how tall is Joe?
He's little.
3 feet, 4 feet. He's 3 feet or four,
Yeah.
whatever. He's really short, but I still give him the ping pong paddle and the ball, and I still
Yep.
serve to him. And of course, he beats me all the time, and he gets a kick out of beating his grandpa.
He
And
does.
yeah, he just, he's it's amazing. But that's what we are. And each time I play him, he's growing.
He
We're
is.
Yeah, we're communicating.
Yep.
He's getting better. And one of the thing about being a grandpa is I know over time he's going to grow up. He's going to get better.
Yep.
And he may eventually beat me one day. Doubt it, but
That's where that's his goal.
yeah. But he loves it every time I come over there. So it's just finding little things like that. He loves to walk. You can walk with Joe 2 or 3 times a day if you got
Yes,
the time.
that's my walks.
So and he's very, very, very active. So grandpas just have to see what it is, where you guys can connect. I mean, what is it that you can connect on? I connect on certain things. The snack was a big deal. Now I'm breaking them off. Now I'm saying, you go get me a snack.
Right.
Okay. But it's been a while.
Yeah.
I have a snack. But now I say, well, what do you got for me?
Yep.
So we kind of reciprocate a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He's got to save this for a snack for you. But I think sometimes it's scary for people that aren't around children that have disabilities. So you did have the advantage, since I was in the classroom, to see a variety of different students and different abilities. But everybody doesn't have that. So, but you do get a little, like, we had to have you pick Joe up one time. And tell us about that experience. Joe likes his routines. Remember, guys, we said that Josiah likes his routines. And I don't know if we were out of town. Where we out of town?
Yeah, you guys were out of town.
You had to pick up Josiah. Now, Dre usually picked up Josiah from school. This was pre-COVID. And my dad had to go pick him up. And it didn't go as planned. Tell us about it.
Yeah, just real thing that occurred that I wasn't ready for. But I picked up Joe, and I think maybe picked him up a little early because I had to pick up the other grandkids as well. And I believe maybe his snack time was 2:00.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I picked him up maybe at 1:30 or something like that. But anyway, he had a meltdown, and I'm like, whoa, right in the middle of the parking lot. So I took a deep breath, and instead of being the discipline, maybe I don't know. I just paused. All I did was pause. I took a deep breath, and I looked at him, and we had that eye contact. And somehow, some way, it seems like he kind of responded to my eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
And because we had established some type of rapport, who I really am, I'm somebody that's solid in his life. I'm consistent, and I'm light-skinned. So, and he didn't see any help around him either. He didn't see mom or dad. He saw me.
Right.
So I gave him a little bit of a break right there. Maybe you would have spanked a regular kid or did something or maybe raised your voice, but I looked at him. So, anyway, we got in the car, and I had his snacks, and he kind of calmed down, but I kind of understood that we were breaking his routine.
Right.
And one thing Joe he's a routine kind of guy.
Yes.
So that's what it was. So understanding your sibling, understanding your kid or your grandkid is and will be a great benefit to you as you venture into helping out when you can help out.
I approve of this message. And I just feel really sad that when other families are, afraid, I guess I'll use that word, they're afraid of the unknown. And it really is the truth is, you don't treat him any differently than any of your other grandchildren. You just have to pay more attention to some of the things to connect on, since it's more things now, of course. But initially it wasn't, because he didn't have a variety of things that he really likes to do, or he could communicate that he wanted to do. He has more, he's talking now, so he could be like, Grandpa, let's play ping pong. But prior to him having spoken language, he couldn't tell us. So you had to really observe and connect and see what it is that he likes to connect with him. And I think that's the big takeaway, is to, make the connection. If the kiddo likes to collect coins, which Josiah likes to do, then as a family member or parent, hey, bring some coins. Do something. If it's snacks, the cereal bars, then bring the snacks. It became a whole thing every time he, saw you. It's still a big deal because he gets still excited. You came over last week and he was like, "Look what Grandpa bought me. It's my snacks." So he still looks forward to that and knows that that's something that he can do and look forward to. So creating a connection on what that child interests are, even if they aren't typical interests like your other nieces or nephews or cousins and things like that. That child's unique interest.
That's correct.
Yep.
And then as he grows, you find other things that he likes to do. We set out on the front and on the swing, and we start picking leaves off the tree. And I start making him count the leaves on the tree. Oh, I had another great story. You guys were gone again.
Oh.
And,
we were gone again.
Yeah, you guys are gone again because I do my thing when you guys are gone. But it was funny because there was a lot of wind. It was a lot of paper and stuff out in the front yard, and I had him doing chores. Now, I mean, this is something I taught my kids my kids how to do, to clean up and stuff like that. And so, but he loved it. So I had him pick up the papers in the front yard. Anything that was not supposed to be in the front yard, I had him pick it up, put it in a trash can, and I put him on video. We had a great time. And of course,
now every time you see something out there, he is like, I need to get that. Grandpa told me to clean that up every time. I can't even be outside. He'd be like, what is that? It'd be like some trash. They have blew in the wind. There was a mask. He's like, oh no, I got to clean that up. He picks it up and puts it away.
I mean, that's it. And that's just one thing, grandpas and stuff like that. We have 2 or 3 other things. I mean, he likes to pick leaves off the tree, but my thing about teaching is, and about allowing a child to grow in your presence, is that every time you meet, you want to do something. You want to get for Joe some similarities. So we get the leaves, and I have him put them in a pile, and we count the leaves. How many did he get? And then we put them in a pile. And so every time I set on the swing up in the front yard there, I have him go do that. And it's very, very, very simple, but we pick leaves off the tree and we count them.
Yep.
And then before we leave, he has to take the leaves and put them in the trash. So systematically, I'm doing something that's going to help him later on to be a youngster or a teenager and on to his adulthood. But those are things I saw he really enjoyed doing with me personally.
Right.
And then,
that's really important though, because with not Taylor. She don't like to be out and play. But Aiden and Jordan, when they were 6 years old, instead of you comparing them and saying, well, they both love sports. They played sports. We don't know that that's going to be for Josiah, but they definitely weren't into like picking and counting leaves and some of those other simple things that he enjoys doing. But instead of being like, what's wrong with him? Because people say that to other people's kids that have a disability. I know I'm taken aback, but instead of like, well, what's wrong with him? Why would he want to? He's 6. Why does he just want to count leaves? Why doesn't he want to, ride his bike or, I don't know, play? What do the boys play? Play football, play basketball, do things like that. Instead of saying things like that, you just embrace it. And I think that's what we want. You got to embrace what they are and not compare them to maybe your other grandkids and what they were doing at that age. And you do a good job of doing that. You never say anything like that.
I think for me, I make sure I make time. When I make sure I make time, I make sure it's important to me and Joe that when he sees me, we've established a rapport. I'll give you another example. Like I said, you got me on this podcast talking. I can just talk all day, but we were out in the front again, and there's big, huge rocks in the front yard. And this is something between Joe and I. He started climbing on the rocks and then going from rock to rock. So I started saying, well, count the rocks. And the next thing you know, we're up to 6 or 7 big, huge rocks. And so while I'm out there, he climbs on each one and he gives me the number of the rock, et cetera, et cetera. But that's between Joe and I. But
Right.
again, you have to, dedicate that time, because my time is not all day. My time is
Mm-hmm.
significant. I have a slotted time, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
utilize that slotted time, and I pay attention to Joe. I look at him and I give him my undivided attention. I'm not
Right.
doing a baseball game or a basketball game and Joe. When it's
Mm-hmm.
when it's Joe and I time, we go for walks. We look
Yep.
at rocks. We do
Yep.
trees. We pull trees. We play ping pong. We do what we do.
Right.
And that's where I stay in my little cupboard, if you will. And then my daughter and rest of the kids, they have their part. And so I
Mm-hmm.
pretty much know my part when I'm around Joe, and I
Right.
give him that time.
Right. Well, I know we have tons of other stories, but I promise to only keep you for 20 minutes because I want you to come back to talk about, I don't know, more specific things when I get a chance, since I have the podcast every week coming up. So if you have any closing remarks, get it? Remark, because you're Mark. Okay.
I think that once you guys see the commitment that your child has for the kid with disabilities, and you have a true love for your family, then you understand really what's going on. And I have more stories to tell you guys maybe on the next podcast, but I was a foster kid. And for 5 years, as a matter of fact, my mother died when I was 6. So this thing runs deep into my soul with regard to raising my kids and raising my grandkids and being available.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am available. And fortunately for us, we got Joe, and Joe's my grandson. I'm Grandpa, and we'll talk about that at another podcast.
Yeah, that's it. Yep, we will talk about that. That'll be another one. Well, thank you so much, Dad. I know where to find you. And actually,
Okay.
I'll see you later on tonight for Aiden's birthday.
Yep.
And say goodbye to the people.
Okay, folks. Take care. Bye.